Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns Postgame Show. We got sexy sacks tonight because the PHNX Suns took care of business and took down the Utah Jazz 129-115. Thanks to the king himself, Kevin Durant. So tonight, you guys, I think it's only fair that we dedicate sexy sacks to KD. What do you say?
KD, baby, all day. Yeah.
KD gets the sexy sacks
KD gets
tonight?
the sexy sack.
All right, here we go.
Let's go, Espo. No ACL injuries tonight.
This is a good move. This is a good move.
Yes, I like it.
He kept it close. Right?
I like it.
What's the rule? Keep it right here.
I'm
Keep it right
here.
here.
Yeah.
I've been here since 9 a.m. This is my 4th time behind the mic, including breaking news and creating a bunch of graphics. I'm tired. I can't dance every time.
Well, listen, you know what? At least you got to round out your busy, long day with a Suns win.
Hell
That
yeah.
was fun, you guys. Like,
That
that
was
was
fun.
an enjoyable game from start to finish.
Yes.
That
yes.
first quarter, I think, was the smoothest we've seen the ball move at times. I mean, there's been some other quarters, but unbelievable job by this team. They came out with an extra bounce in their step. I think we were talking about it, Flex. I think maybe the combination of Royce, knowing Royce is coming, and the fact that now all this is behind them, they don't have to worry about who's going where, what's happening, any of that. All the noise is done. Unbelievable performance tonight, especially in that first quarter.
You said it. You nailed it. It's funny. I was watching the game with my brother-in-law, first quarter, and I literally told him, this is probably the cleanest first quarter we've played all year.
Yeah.
And then to hear you say that just solidifies what we're talking about. I think you nailed it. I think the anxiety lens of the trade talk, that creeps into the locker room. I think those guys came out. There was a different feel. You could just see everyone was smiling. Everyone felt comfortable. That black cloud of, am I going to be here? Am I not going to be here? Is gone. The rotation seems to be starting to solidify because when you get past the trade deadline, you kind of know your role at that point. You know that the team wants you. You know they're committed to you. And so now you play free. And yeah, knowing Royce is coming and knowing they're getting some reinforcements, I think, gave them a little pop. The fans were energetic, and you're starting to see this team come together. That's now, what is it, Linz? 12 out of 15, 12-3 in the last 15.
Something
And
like
so,
that,
yeah, I mean, that's good basketball. The ball was popping around. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that was super enjoyable. So let's go ahead and dive into Kevin Durant here to start us off on this show. That 19-point first quarter was absolutely a thing of beauty. He was 8 of 13 from the field. He had 2 assists, 2 rebounds, a steal, and a block, all in that first quarter.
Yeah, he was terrific. And wow, go ahead.
No, I was just
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
He was Linz. I'm telling y'all, there was a vibe in that arena. KD felt it. Came out with them squeaky clean white shoes that were beautiful. The flow was terrific. He put on a show in that first quarter, man. I mean, I really, after that first quarter, I'm sitting here like, damn, bro, KD about to drop a 60 bomb tonight.
I know.
It looked fresh. It looked clean. And the supporting cast, wow. Wow. But yeah, KD was great.
Wish that he had come back in earlier in the second quarter because I do kind of, and you mentioned this when you got back here to the studio, that you kind of felt like things went a little bit, not cold per se, but it just was a little lighter, I suppose, for KD. And I feel like if he had come back in a little bit earlier, it would have like rolled and snowballed even more and more.
I wouldn't have sat him.
I wouldn't have either.
I would have let it run until the heater was over, right? There's that old saying in baseball, you got to respect a heater, right? You got to respect a streak.
That's right.
I would have let him go. I think sometimes Vogel, I mean, Monty was bad at this too, but not recognizing when a guy's in that mode and just letting him go until it doesn't happen. It's the old NBA jam. Eventually miss a few, you won't be on fire anymore. But when you are, shoot every time the ball hits your damn hands.
Yeah.
And I think I probably would have let KD ride it out a little bit, because if he does, you blow him out, it's not in question. He gets the rest on the back half. Right?
That's true. No, I would have definitely done that. He definitely cooled off when he came back in the second quarter. We've seen Frank do that a lot with Book, where Book goes crazy in the first quarter and he'll let him ride out the start of the second. I was expecting the same thing, but you know what hurt Kevin tonight? You know what hurt Kevin in that spot? His damn teammates were on fire too.
That's true.
And so it was one of them spots where it's like, everyone's playing well. And I felt like they didn't miss a damn shot from three.
In the first quarter, Bradley was 3 of 3 from deep.
Yeah.
So, and he had those 9 points. And then KD, it kind of felt like through the second half of this game, he kind of switched over to, like, he was moving the ball around. I'm not saying he wasn't in the first quarter, but he stacked up more assists in the second half of this game too. He still contributed an additional, what did he end with? 31. So what's that? 12 additional points through the 3 quarters, the final 3 quarters of this game. But he also stacked up a few more as well. He finished with 7 tonight, where he had 2 in the first quarter. So
I felt like that fourth in particular, he was looking for other guys. I mean, you look at it, and Chris Dunn started guarding him, was basically holding him the entire fourth quarter. You thought they were dancing rather than playing defense there. But he started looking for his teammates. He found Eubanks a couple times, got him going. So KD kind of just understood the rhythm of the game. We've seen this with these guys. And again, Bradley Beal comes in that second half, and in that fourth, he kind of just takes over the offense and did his thing, and you wind up with this beautiful win tonight. I mean, it's nice.
Kevin had what, 31, 8 rebounds, 7 assists.
Let's put his stats up,
3
because
steals.
He's going to be
Go
our
ahead.
big, bright, shiny star.
Throw it up there. Big Kevin Durant. Throw them numbers up. Come on. There we go.
I'm a big, bright, shining star.
I'm just look at that guy. There we go.
I'm just gonna wind up doing our sound effects myself.
31 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. 5 of those assists coming in the fourth quarter alone. Yeah. He also added in 2 steals and 2 blocks.
Thank you for adding that, because I wanted to talk about that, because he was terrific on the defensive end again tonight. And you know what I saw from Kevin, that is Kevin Durant. He's one of the greatest players in the world. But what you saw was he showed that he can control the game early offensively. And as soon as he went on that heater, Utah immediately said, we got to send a double. And I mean, he picked them apart. I mean, he was embracing the double tonight. I've seen games where Kevin, you can see sometimes he'll get frustrated with that double, but tonight it was like, okay, please come embrace it, because I think you enjoy the double when your teammates are making them pay for it. Right? Yeah. There's a lot of nights where you get doubled and the shots aren't falling, and it becomes a chore. But tonight it was fun. He was getting in on the block, waiting patiently. Okay, here you go. Brad, kill him. Grayson, kill him. EG, kill him. So that was a lot of fun.
All right. And then also we want to give a little love to KD too, because he brought us our Super Bowl moment of the night.
It's Super Bowl week.
So KD, we saw at one point in time in this game, sit with Bol Bol on the bench, pull up the whiteboard, and have a conversation with him. Literally,
that's an iPad, Lindsay.
Oh, my bad.
At your age, you should know that.
I should. That makes way more sense. I was looking at the picture right here, and I was like, is that a whiteboard? Or is this, what is this?
Yeah.
Well, listen. Pulls out the iPad and goes over plays with Bol Bol. Talks to him probably about things that he can be better at. Showing him some things, just teaching him the ropes. Like, this is great leadership, for one, from KD, and you love to see it. But 2, I really am telling you, I think the reason why Bol Bol has turned the corner with the Suns is Kevin freaking Durant.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I got to hear the audio here, and he says, watch this. This is how you dunk on these fools. Because KD had done it, and then he showed Bol Bol how to, and Bol had that nice dunk as well.
Put that up again, E, if you can. Let me tell you something. People do not understand how important that is right there. For a kid like Bol Bol, when in his career has he had that type of mentorship?
Even if he's had a coach that has done that, I don't care what coach it is. It could be the winningest coach in history. It's not Kevin Durant doing it.
Right.
It's not your favorite player, the guy you grew up with so much admiration for. Doing it.
You do a great job. You're our host. You've been doing this a long time. You're an Emmy Award winner. You're fantastic, right? Is there somebody that did your job that you looked up to when you were younger?
Yeah.
Can you tell me who?
It was me.
It was Espo.
It was Espo?
Yes.
So did you have, if Espo pulls you aside and starts going over,
I bring out the whiteboard and I diagram out a host. It's great.
This is how you do a Sesame Street main character.
This is how you say the word chemistry.
Right.
Chemistry.
So, all jokes aside, he's never had that type of mentorship. And I want to say that I was thinking about this earlier. Bol Bol came into the league with high expectations. Yes. He was a freak in high school. He was a freak in college. He had all these high expectations. I would say that at one point, the expectations on Bol Bol were just as much as Wemby. Like, he was the first guy at that size to be able to do some of those things. And so you come into the league, and then you have some problems. You have some hiccups. And now he's on a team where his teammates actually want him to succeed. And they're like, yo, just keep it simple, follow our leadership, and you can really help us. And I think for the first time in his life, he's embracing and being taught how to be a role player and just fit in, as opposed to you're supposed to be something. You need to live up to those expectations. This is incredible, and that snapshot is real. It speaks volumes about the leadership, and it speaks volumes about Bol Bol now at this point in his career being willing to listen.
Exactly, because it goes both ways, right? Like,
yes.
KD can sit there and talk to Bol Bol night in and night out till he's blue in the face. If Bol doesn't receive it and isn't open to receiving that, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Like, it doesn't make a difference. But one more time, put that picture back up, because
bring that up.
Boosty in the comments was like, look at all those coaches behind them, also heavily invested.
They were
I don't even notice that because I wasn't paying attention to the background of
They're trying to learn from Kevin Durant.
Like, yeah,
no, they are.
No, Katie's like, look at this tweet. I burned this fool on Twitter right now. Look at this.
I mean, that would be hilarious if that's what they were talking about.
Hey, Eric, you nailed it. Like, that's incredible. Like, that's basketball church. You getting Kevin Durant? No, that's basketball church. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you can see the assistant coaches are like, damn, okay, let's listen up here. This is Kevin Durant. So yeah, that's cool as hell, man.
Well, I also think too, you've got to consider, okay, yeah, it's one of Bol Bol's favorite players, but how many guys can relate to Bol Bol at his size and some of the things that he has to do?
Point.
Kevin Durant is one of the few, that can. So it means a lot more when Kevin Durant, a guy who's done it and understands what you're going through, says it, then no offense, Kevin Young or Frank Vogel trying to tell you how to do it, because what the hell do they know about being 7 foot something, lanky as all hell, and trying to score out there against the trees. So I think that's also experience that Kevin Durant can impart on him, because he understands that.
Yeah, I mean, if you can pick one person to mentor Bol Bol in the NBA, not only was that his idol, but you got to imagine that Bol Bol, when he was coming up, was trying to be Kevin Durant. He wasn't trying to be Nurkic.
No.
He wasn't trying to be Shaquille O'Neal. He was actually trying to be Kevin Durant. And now you get to go to work every day and soak that up and practice with this guy. I'm not shocked that Bol Bol's taking this little stride.
No.
It just makes perfect sense. Well, no, go ahead.
I'm shocked in the sense that I didn't really expect it to happen this year.
Right.
Maybe to this degree.
Yeah, I get that.
But when you paint the picture of everything with KD, how much he's been involved too, that's not surprising.
Right, that's what I meant. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I'm surprised. I was calling him Sideshow Bol. I didn't think he deserved to be out there on the court, because what I had heard was he wasn't a guy that locked in, wasn't a guy that put in the work.
Yeah.
Then you saw the first few performances and you're like, great, the crowd gets excited, but this guy looks like Bambi on skates, right? But then it's obvious that he did lock in, that he did start to learn, and he's become a guy that understands what his role is and what he's out there to do. So I give him an immense amount of credit for that, because everything we had heard before is that's not the guy that he was. But you see there, even in game, he's trying to learn now. That's maturity that comes with time in the league. That's maturity that comes with being on a team where, in reality, if you don't do that, you're not even in the rotation. Where everywhere else they were like, hey, we need you to come in here and score all these points and do all these things. Here they're like, no, you need to actually lock in and do the little things, otherwise you're not playing.
Yeah.
That's got to have an effect on a guy that's always been told you're something special too.
Right, you're something special. You got to be 15-10 to live up to your draft hype, or you got to be 15-10, or you got to block a certain amount of shots. And they just dumbed it down. They simplified it. They're like, yo, dude, we don't need a damn thing, really. We don't need nothing superstar-ish. We just need you to come in, play good defense, hit open shots, and make the right plays. And if you get 6 points and 6 rebounds, man, we celebrating you. That's got to be good.
And that's where I think KD gets a bad knock, right?
Yeah.
Is that he's not a leader. I think he's a teacher. He's a guy that can connect. He's a connector with teammates. He can do that stuff. Maybe he's not the guy that's going to rah, let's go do this or whatever on the court, but those are the little things that are just as important in leadership and the different styles of leadership. And he's helping get the most out of Bol Bol in particular, but I'm sure it's a lot of guys as well. I'm sure he's imparted things on other guys on that team.
Yeah, that's a great point, Espo.
Yeah. All right, guys, before we give out more flowers and dive into this game, I do want to remind you, if you want to get hooked up with $200, our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union want to hook you up with $200. For more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. I don't know about you, but $200 would make my life better. And right now, when you open a free checking account online, you're going to get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
Flex, if you took $5 away from that 200, what do you got there?
$5 away from the two?
Yeah.
$195.
Okay, what if I told you with that $5 I can give you another $158?
Ooh,
I want to know how.
Well, then I'm going to tell you how.
Tell me how.
You get that phone out, you download that damn BetMGM Sportsbook app. You put in that promo code PHNX. You take that $5 from that you just got with Desert Financial Credit Union. You put it in the app. You bet that on anything. Literally anything. You want to bet it on cricket? I don't give a crap. You want to bet it on horse racing? You do that. You want to bet it on what color the Gatorade's going to be or how long the national anthem's going to be at the Super Bowl? You can do that too.
Okay.
And whether you win or lose, and we know you lose a lot when you do this, you're going to get that $158 in bonus bets. It's just that simple. That's right. Put in the code PHNX when you download the BetMGM Sportsbook app. $5. I recommend doing something fun on Sunday's big game. Enjoy that. Get $158 in bonus bets. It's just that simple, regardless of your wager. Check out the show notes for full details. And now, listen to our man Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Get stuffed, Ontario, and anybody in the chat that doesn't like my ad transitions.
I actually heard that what KD was showing Bol on the bench was his parlay that was about to hit on BetMGM. So he was about to get his free $198.
No, see, you heard wrong.
No.
It was my bet.
Oh, it was your bet
tonight.
He's like, oh my God, Lindsay won again.
And was the only bet that hit tonight on the show.
No. Y'all are wrong. Hold on.
What do you mean, hold on?
What he was really telling him was like, yo, look at how my boy Flex did the reverse psychology on y'all. and bet against us tonight because
Is that what it
that's
was?
what it was. That's what that bet was all about.
Okay.
He said
Reverse
Flex
psychology.
doesn't believe in you, Bol.
That's what he said. He's like, look at this guy Flex.
So
I
you
thought he
took
was
an L
dead.
for the greater
I
good.
took an
All
L
right.
for the greater
Fine,
good.
I'll give you that, but Espo and Stahl still lost. So.
No, he said.
So you
said
hit yours?
I
What
did
was
hit
yours?
mine. I just took KD to make his first field goal of the game.
Let's go.
Yeah, minus
And he
like
did that.
1,400.
Let's go.
It
I'm
was
riding
minus
with
150, thank you very much, and he still hit it. So
I'm pretty sure Katie was like, hey, you know that guy Flex from Jersey that we always see on Twitter? That dude's minus 5601 in this betting game. This dude just can't win a bet.
You know what though? I'm riding with Linz. I'm telling you. I take pride in watching Lindsay slowly chip away. If she wins, I'm celebrating.
you.
I should be in the lead
Thank
because
you.
Yeah, I am.
I had Kevin Durant at 40 points. And
You
after
were
that first
close.
quarter, it was
You had
like,
Katie for 40?
yeah, I was like, man, this might happen. And then I watched that fourth quarter. I'm like, God damn it, stop passing.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Thanks,
my goodness.
Katie.
All right, let's continue to hand out some more flowers
Ooh,
here.
can I do the next one?
Sure, you can.
I want to do X Factor. Can I do X Factor?
You can do X Factor.
All right.
What's the X
Eric,
Factor?
let's show him the X Factor. It's Devin Booker for not playing and letting Katie and Beal do their thing tonight. Devin
Yo.
Booker, you a true G. Way to hand it out to these guys and give them their night in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, you the man.
That guy can't lose. I
He
mean, he
can't.
can't lose. I mean, he definitely was the X Factor.
He and I were in sync tonight. We both had the beanies on.
Yeah.
I do
yeah.
appreciate that Book rocks his beanies sort of similar the way I do,
Yeah.
as far as it being a little bit taller up top.
Someone
A
just
little
disliked the
wonky
video,
there.
Espo. They disliked specifically for
It's
that.
my fault. It was a joke.
Yeah,
style.
guys, don't worry.
It's
We're
a
just
joke,
guys.
joking here. Our actual PHNX factor is going to go to Grayson Allen. Yes, we're still going to
Yeah,
give
man.
love to Bradley Beal here in just a minute, but Grayson Allen, you guys, had himself a night dishing out dimes left and right. At halftime, he had already had 9 assists, which is a career high for him. By the end of the game, you guys, he had 14 assists and a big old goose egg when it comes to turnovers. 14 assists, not a single turnover.
That assist to turnover ratio is 14 to nothing. Like it's
14
infinity.
nothing.
The dude was unbelievable out there passing the rock. We said pregame in all our infinite wisdom. I don't know. Grayson, maybe the guy that, when Beal's not handling the ball. Yeah, it was Grayson all night. Way to go, Grayson.
Yeah,
He
100%.
he was terrific.
Are you all right over there, Eric? What
He
the hell are
was
you
The
laughing
chat is so mad at you because all the comments coming in now are from they didn't think you were joking. And they're like, the bias is insane.
Yo, relax. It was a
It was
joke,
a joke.
guys. It was a joke.
I love who was it? The Jet. We don't like your jokes. Well, get in line. That's what I hear from my daughter all the time.
No, great. No, listen, real talk. Grayson was incredible, man, and he played really good defense. His energy was contagious. He made all the right plays just all night. It just felt like I didn't even realize he got to 14. No turnovers, man.
No turnovers.
I mean, that's impressive basketball. And so shout out to Grayson. And that's the thing that I do want to point this out. There's a lot of people that watch the basketball games and they immediately go to points in the box score. Or they'll go to shots and they'll be like, well, Grayson had 8 points tonight, right?
He had 4 shots. He was 2 or 3 from 3.
There you
2
go.
free
So
throws.
you look at that and you're like, oh, Grayson ain't bring it tonight. No. That guy might have been the best player in the whole damn game. And the KD was the man tonight. But what Grayson did tonight is the epitome of a guy, not worrying about the box score and just doing the right thing. And then the box score played out for him. 14 and no turnovers. That's incredible.
He also added in, I know he's 4 shots only, but still added in 8 points. He had 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block.
That's what I'm saying. On defense,
So,
he was very good.
He's contributing in a multitude of ways in this one. Yeah. And you didn't really need his scoring either.
No, everybody was hitting
because
every damn
everybody
shot.
else was knocking down their shots,
Right.
including Bradley Beal, who we'll give a little bit of love to here as well. He finished with 30 points. He also had 7 assists in this one, a rebound and a steal. Now, I will say, Bradley Beal does need to work on the turnovers after this one a little bit. He did have 5, which was the highest on the Sun squad, but still. And 3-point shooting tonight was also great for Brad. He was 6 of 9. Like we had mentioned at the top of the show, 3 of 3 from deep in that first quarter alone. So Bradley Beal was knocking him down.
I got to ask this question.
Talk to me. Come on, Espo.
Do we need to just start Eric Gordon? Because it seems like the only time you go, holy crap, this guy can actually still shoot, is when you start him.
But
I mean,
so you want to move Grayson off the
19
bench then?
points.
You want to replace them?
No, let's just put Book it. No, I'm just kidding. But look, Eric Gordon, 3 of 4 from 3, 19 points. He was 7 of 8 from the floor, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, a steal, a block. It's so weird how different this guy is.
Give me the major number. I'm not looking. I'm gonna let you give it to me. Minutes played.
38.
There we go. We talked about this a couple weeks back, and I was saying at 35 years old, he's a rhythm guy. He's a guy that is no coincidence. Go back and look at all his big games, and it always comes in a spot where there's an injury. The last time he had a big game, it was Grayson got hurt at halftime and he played extended minutes, right? So I keep saying this. EG is a good basketball player, but at 35, when you ask him to play 15 minutes, it changes the way he plays. When he knows he's coming into a game and I'm going to get 25 to 30, he just plays differently because he knows he's going to get the amount of reps in the shot. So unfortunately, at this point in his career, Linz, I think EG is going to give you these performances when he gets extended minutes. My fear is when the playoffs come and we have a shrink the rotation and other guys are getting extended minutes, is he going to be able to give us that type of contribution with, let's say, I don't know, 17 to 20 minutes?
Well, see, that's the tough part because you can't give him this many minutes on a regular basis.
That's right.
There is not 38 minutes available for Eric Gordon. And come playoffs, there's definitely not 38 minutes available for him.
Is it as simple as, and you got the old man body, I don't, so you can let me know. Is it as simple as...
I got the old man body?
You just caught up with that. But, I mean, is it as simple as... the dude just operates better when he doesn't have to sit on a bench before he comes into a game. Yeah. So I know it sounds crazy, but we've seen Grayson tonight in particular be able to distribute. Is he your answer if you can't find a backup guard to run the offense when Devin Booker's not out there? So do you consider making that kind of a move? So then you got a bench unit that is Grayson and Royce and Drew Eubanks and Bol Bol, and maybe you got something working a little bit more there. It sounds crazy, but I wonder if that's how you unlock a little bit more of Eric Gordon.
I mean, it could be worth experimenting with, right? Frank Vogel, or Gerald tweeted this out, and I thought it was cute. He said, Frank Vogel joked about Grayson Allen's career-high 14 assists tonight. It said, quote, I told Grayson he was going to play some point guard tonight, and he wanted to prove he could go out there and be Steve Nash.
Wow.
So
why we got to compare him to Steve Nash? Just because they're both white? Like, is that why we got to do it?
Those 14 assists, 0 turnovers.
That's Steve Nash.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
You know what's cool about that, Lens? Is that you can see they're having fun. Mm-hmm. Like they're having fun with the process. They're making jokes. This wasn't what we were seeing 6 weeks ago.
No.
And now you're starting to see this locker room unlock, and Frank is making jokes, and Grayson Allen is impersonating Steve Nash, and fucking life is great on Planet Orange, man. It's crazy stuff.
You're telling me that winning's a magical elixir?
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, we Christmas Day was the turning point. Christmas Day was the wake-up call where they got their ass kicked by the Mavs. Everybody's like, we're under 500. It's December 25th. What the hell is going on in this world? And those guys went, this isn't us. It can't be us. We were not brought together for whatever the hell this has been. They've gotten the time. They've started to win. You see it paying dividends on the court. They made a move to add Royce O'Neal, that additional bench piece, and all of a sudden you go, you're sitting at 5th in the West. Everybody's bunched up 1 through 4 now. You know, are they going to pull the Heisenberg and say, no, we're the ones who knock? Like, they're the ones coming up now. And I think you got to seriously be looking at that. I will admit this. This is a mea culpa Thursday from Espo. You were right, Flex.
I was right.
It just took time for these guys to play additional minutes and find their rhythm. They did lose the fourth again tonight, but that's neither here nor there.
I knew you was going to find a way to
but
see
no,
that.
but like you were right on that front.
I appreciate that. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, here's the thing. Christmas Day was bad, and we took that gut punch. But even on Christmas Day, we weren't healthy.
Yeah.
We were not healthy. And so, once they started to get together and get that rhythm, you're seeing and I will say this. I don't know if a lot of people know, there was a meeting after that Christmas Day. We talked about this. There was a team meeting. There was a particular player on his team that went in that locker room and was like, yo, enough's enough. Right? We're not going to get into names, but enough's enough, man. Like, we're too damn good for this. And I think Brad didn't play that game, but it was shortly after that Brad looked himself in the mirror and was like, okay, stop. We need to stop babying this back thing. We need to get out there and play. And now you're starting to see this team. I'd rather get hot now, Linz. Right now. Like, right now, you start to make that stretch run. 30 games left.
Like November?
Yeah, like, you don't
I'd rather be hot in April, May, and June, but I get what you're saying.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, you start to wind up now in this last 30-game stretch. And then, we've seen this team peak early in the year and then hit that little bump in the road at the end. And so I'd rather it the way it is right now. I'm really excited about when we implement Royce into this and then the potential buyout stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just glad that I fired Kevin Young and Frank Vogel when I did back in December. It turned everything around.
Yeah, you sure did. You sure did.
Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, one additional guy. Listen, tonight is one of those games where you could kind of literally just go down the entire roster and say something nice about the guys. But,
and so we will.
Oh, no, I'll spare you. But there's one more that I will give a little bit of love to, Drew Eubanks. So he had 12 points, 2 steals, 7 rebounds. And while that seems like maybe not a ton, even though I feel like for Drew it actually is.
Yeah, that's good.
Drew Eubanks just looked really good out there tonight.
And it felt like he had a little bit of that Jock KD connection tonight. Where he was getting in there, he's getting those dunks. There was energy that he was doing. I feel like he's turned a corner as well.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that I feel like with the trade deadline coming and going probably had a weight lifted off of his shoulders because while his name wasn't really involved in a lot of the rumors, it's probably he felt like there was a potential that maybe he got.
And he's not looking over his shoulder because they didn't acquire another center that will be a guy that
takes
his
minutes.
Backup. Yeah. No, if they acquire somebody, it's a in case of emergency guy, Bismack Biyombo. Not a guy that's going to come in and take his job. So that probably eased it. And it felt like, okay, he got the one. Remember the one game a couple weeks ago where all of a sudden he brought the energy off the bench. He was getting some dunks. He had a good game. I feel like it just took one of those to get that mental hurdle too, where it was like, oh yeah, this is the guy I was in Portland. I can be that here. Let's go out there and just get this done.
You know what's another underrated part of the trade deadline? We just went in depth about how the psyche of the player is affected. You know who also mentally gets a big break? Frank Vogel. Because it's extremely hard when you've got a bunch of guys on the bench and you're having communication with them daily. Right? You're talking to KBD, you're talking to Yuta, you're talking to Goodwin. And those conversations happen when they're like, okay, keep working. I'll get you a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. Well, now, like a guy like Frank now, you don't got to have those conversations no more. Those guys are out. They're going to do their own thing. And the rotation is more solidified. Everybody knows that the role that they're expected to play. And so the trade deadline relieves players, but it also relieves the coaching staff, and it allows you to kind of make that step and say, okay, this is who we are. This is what we're rolling with. There's no more communication. There's no more, massaging of egos. This is what we got. Let's rock and roll. So, yeah, across the board, you could just see things start to fall into place, and tonight was encouraging.
All right. Is there anybody else you guys want to give flowers to? Oh, so somebody asked us to give flowers to Bol Bol, and we did.
Yeah, Bol get
towards
flowers.
the top of the show. It's Super Bowl week. What do you mean are we going to give flowers to Bol Bol?
Here,
Of course we are.
I'm going to give flowers to one guy. Nasir Little, congratulations. You're out of the bubble wrap and the ice bath. You are officially back playing basketball.
Yeah.
You're no longer just a trade chip. You're a member of the Phoenix Suns again, and I was glad to see you out there. I hope you can get back into playing a role where you can help this team down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm happy for Nas.
It's got to be like hell when every rumor you hear is your name. Like,
yeah.
Well, and it wasn't even really like his fault entirely.
No,
it
not his
wasn't even
fault.
something that was like, oh, Nas, you absolutely suck. They got to get you off this team. It was just, Nas, you're a contract.
There you go,
Like,
right.
I'm sorry.
it was your
Right.
contract and your potential because you're young, you
Yeah.
still have upside, and you had a contract
Yeah.
that worked. And somehow he hears all that for multiple weeks. Even, let's be honest, since they traded for him, everybody's like, well, if you're going to make a move, it's got to be Nas Little's contract.
Yeah.
And then this morning, I mean, we all assumed when we heard the deal, okay, it's Nas.
Nas.
Well, then you find out, nope, it's 4 other guys, and you're still here. I mean, that's got to be a total relief
Yeah.
for him. I mean, I'm sure he had things almost packed up at one point. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I would tell you, poor Nasir was probably expecting to go somewhere, and so I'm so glad he gets to kind of just take a deep breath, and now he knows he's part of this team, and so yeah, good for him, and I'm glad he was back out there today. There was another person, one last person.
Oh, I
Go
have
ahead.
one last person,
Go
but I
ahead.
don't know if it's
No,
yours.
it's that person.
Will you do it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Teo. My
He made
boy
it on the
was.
card
My
for
boy
a
was.
minute.
He
Yeah,
was
how
out
did you
there.
guys?
He was out there.
I called him.
man.
Finally.
What I call him, street clothes earlier, and he actually got put on a
He
uniform
said,
and play
"Suck
a minute.
it, Espo. Take that."
We were talking about that, how he's been like in street clothes back there with Miles Simon and stuff. And then when I got there tonight, I'm like, oh, my boy got some uniform on tonight.
Well, we're
So-
sitting there, and I go, it's the last minute. I go, who the hell is number 12? Is that him? Oh my God, he made it in.
yeah, good for him.
He's got
man.
Kendall Marshall's old number.
I was gonna say that. That's
Look at
Kendall
that.
Marshall. You talked about him earlier too.
Listen, we kid about that. Honestly, it's exciting for him. He probably was excited, even though it was
Yeah.
just a single minute. He took one single shot. Still,
Good for him.
you know what I mean? He touched the court as a member of the Phoenix Suns, and if circumstances were different, he'd have more of an opportunity. But sorry, my guy, we're trying to win a championship.
Right.
But maybe next time around. But hopefully, the Sun, if he hangs around long enough, Suns get a G League team. They got time
Yeah.
and stuff they can do there.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll just hang out and we'll
Yeah.
root for him when he does and they're
Yeah.
touching the floor.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you are trying to save on gas or you just want to join a really cool free membership program that hooks you up with coupons on a regular basis, Circle K is the place for you. And their inner circle is where you want to be. You can join their inner circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details, but do not leave the savings on the floor. Make sure you get signed up.
You know,
Yes.
Flex,
Yo, talk to me.
I'm not going to do a crazy ad transition right now. You've had a long day. And you know what? I've had a long day.
Okay.
You know, we both could use some food.
Mhm.
Some
Oh,
good
damn
food.
right.
And our friends at Some Burros can provide good food. They've got the best Mexican restaurant in the Valley. They were actually voted Arizona's most loved Mexican restaurant. I was not polled during this. I would have voted for them, but I'd like to know how I can be involved next time.
We have one in Mesa?
Yeah, we do. It literally is a mile from your house and right next
Yo,
to
Eddie,
mine.
some burrows, we're going.
Pack up the car. We're
There's
going,
one,
Eddie.
like, right up
We're
Some
going.
burros. Yeah.
It's easy. It's family owned. They've got great food, great drinks, great platters. They can cater your events, anything you need when it comes to Mexican food in the Valley. Our friends at Some Burros can take care of you. And if you're in Flagstaff, guess what? You're in luck too. They got one there. So come check out their newest location in Goodyear on Peoria and the I-17, and in Peoria on the I-17 and Joe Max. Or you can find one near you by visiting someburros.com and let them cater your next meal, big or small.
Okay. We're going.
All right, guys, let's take a look at the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes.
All right. Suns get a 129-115 dub tonight. Fantastic game across the board, but the major number we want to talk about, 37-28, the assists. The Suns had 37 assists tonight, led by the boy Grayson Allen that we talked about, to Utah's 28. They shot the ball incredible, 59% for the night, 52 for 88. And again, the Jazz shoot 43%. The Suns shot almost 50% from three, 48 to be exact, to Utah's 34. And then here's a number that I loved. I loved when I saw this, because you want to push a tempo, you want to play faster, you want to get the ball up the court. And usually when you play defense, you push the tempo, you get fast break points. Suns had 30, Utah had 13. Phoenix dominated this game from jump ball, and that's how you get a 129-115 victory tonight. 2 straight now.
I'm going to ask this.
Talk to me.
Uh-oh.
And I don't want to ask it, but I've seen it talked about in the chat.
Uh-oh.
They played fast tonight.
Yeah.
You see the 30 fast break points. That has been a knock on this offense this year.
Yeah.
Book wasn't driving things tonight. Is there any correlation, or is it just a complete coincidence? I lean to likely coincidence because they were playing sharp defense, and they were hitting everything tonight, which makes both things make it a lot easier to run. But what do you guys think?
I think it's a coincidence. I mean,
I'm sure you could try and make the argument, and there would probably be some things that would back that up to an extent. But I'm not gonna say that Book makes this team worse.
We've seen them run with Book though too. There's been quarters where you see them play fast and the ball gets whipping around. I'm not willing to buy that. Now, if Book has to sit out 3 or 4 games and we see something like this play out every night, then maybe you got a little bit more to question. But small sample size theater is not a way to judge that necessarily. So.
Yeah, and I mean, Book has missed time this year. Mm-hmm. So go back to look at the games that Book missed. And if they got 37 assists in those games, we got a pattern. But I don't remember that happening. So I think it was more of an aberration. I think it was more of a coincidence. And I also think it was the opponent. But we'll see. We'll see. Is this – now, here's the thing. This is how I would handle this. Is it okay to now look at this and then sit down and say, hey, we might have found something. Maybe this is how we want to play going forward, Book.
Or let's try to do this and implement that.
There you go.
So that it happens a little bit more.
Right. I think there's an opportunity to talk.
Maybe this gives you some more confidence in Grayson. Handling the ball more with that group as well. So you get Book off the ball. You have Beal and KD doing their thing, and Grayson finding guys a little bit more. Maybe that opens that up. I see Mike from Mesa in the chat saying coincidence my ass. And look, I haven't seen enough of this that happens. I need more than one time to say something is a pattern or truth, right? If I believed everything that happened once, I would have done a lot of stupid shit in my life, okay?
And I think Kev is right, okay? Experiment with it. Let Grayson drive the car and Book be a shooter. Let him focus on shooting. Yeah. I wouldn't be mad with experimenting with it, but I'm also not going to put the full blame on Book. Yeah. Now, granted, you guys are correct in the chat. That Book is slower with bringing the ball up, and he holds on to the ball before he starts passing a little bit longer than others. But I'm not going to say that everything is entirely Devin's fault if we do have a little bit of an off night. Okay. And I'm not going to say that the only reason that the guys popped off tonight was because Book wasn't playing.
Yeah, no, to me, that's silly. Here's the thing. Okay, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but do you know what we shoot as a team for the season?
I can tell you in just a second.
So here's the thing. We shot 60% tonight, and we shot almost 50 from 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you know when you pass a ball, and I'm keeping this basketball 101. If I got the ball ends and I pass it to you and you make it, what happens? I got what?
An assist.
I got an assist. If I pass it to Espo and you make it, what do I got?
2 assists.
Okay, Eric, same thing, right? Everybody was making shots tonight. Mm-hmm. Like you shot 60% from the field and 50% from 3. So you want to talk about a correlation as to why you got 37 assists? Because tonight, everybody hit their damn shots. Now, if you can tell me confidently that, these guys are going to hit their shots every night without Devin Booker, then go ahead and say that. But, I mean, it's just not. The high assist number correlates with the high shooting percentage. That's just basketball 101. So how many nights has Booker pushed the tempo and got open shots and Brad Beal's 0 for 7?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what happens.
There are also nights when they throw a double at Book and we're like, y'all got to get Book, you got to get the ball out of your hands faster. Somebody else has to come up. So Book has an outlet pass.
Correct.
Like, we've talked about that multiple times too.
Correct.
Look, Suns, to answer your question, Suns are shooting 49.8% from the field and 37.8% from 3. Look, I'm not going to poo-poo the thought of Devin Booker needs more time off the ball.
I love him off the ball.
He's the best 2 guard in the league. I agree with that. At times he does come up the court a little slow, and I agree with that. But I also know that during this stretch, he's been the point guard. They've won games too. So I think there's a balance to be found. I don't think it's black or white. I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's finding a balance where he can be the best 2 guard in the game, and then sometimes have the ball handling duties as well. So I think that's what's the key, whether it's Beal, whether it's Grayson, having Book off the ball a little bit more is a good thing. But I don't think it's as simple as, see, when Devin Booker's not there, the offense hums. I think it's more nuanced than that.
Yeah, and again, this is getting me mad. Can we stop with the damn Book and KD stuff, man? Stop it. This game, we got to chill with that. Like, I don't want to hear when we run through KD, the ball does this, and we run through Book. Like, stop that, man. I can make the numbers work anyway. I can bring you games where KD was without Book, and the ball didn't pop, and we didn't make shots, and the Suns got their ass whooped. And I could tell you the same thing when Devin Booker does it. Like, stop with these one-hit wonders and trying to make an argument about who does it better. Like, I'm not here for that conversation, man. They're teammates. They've done well with Book. They've done well with KD. They've done well when they're together. They are currently 12-3 right now. Like, stop with the ball pops more when KD's run. That's not true. That's just not true.
They're 10 games above 500 now, too. Do you realize that? That's quite the accomplishment for a team that was 1 game under 500 on December 26th.
Right.
So
they're playing
also,
good basketball.
We won the game.
Right. Yay. Like, we won the game.
Okay, can I bring up one other thing?
Go ahead, dog.
It's very rare that you have as many assists as you have rebounds in a basketball game.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
That's very rare.
I mean, so tonight they did struggle a bit on the boards.
But we talked about that in pregame, that was going to be, what is it? Their second in both rebounding and offensive rebounding or something like that?
Look, and I'm going to turn this into
the Jazz, not
into
Suns,
to more of a positive here, because this was a night that, again, they took 6 fewer shots than the Jazz, but they shot so well it did not matter. And that's what I like about it. I mean, they also shot, what was it? They shot 15 fewer free throws than the Jazz. They shot 6 fewer 3-pointers than the Jazz, and they still won because they were so efficient this evening. Yeah. Efficiency was unbelievable tonight.
Yeah, they shot the hell out the ball.
Yeah. All right, guys, we won this game. Don't be mad at each other or us in the chat. Let's celebrate instead. And you can celebrate with our friends over at Four Peaks because they did put out a brand new beer. All of their classics are delightful, of course, but brand new beer for the new year. The Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale is a collab between Four Peaks and Bad Birdie. It's super drinkable and the perfect companion at the tea box or in your fridge. Plus, We all know and love the Four Peaks Brewery down in Tempe. The beer, the food, top notch. You cannot beat it. Visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite beers and events. And make sure you check them out on social at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask you please drink responsibly.
Okay, I'm terrible with names. Your brother-in-law's name is Dennis? Is that
Eddie.
My brother-in-law right there, Eddie.
See, told you I'm terrible with names. No offense. Eddie, I know you're probably at the Flex compound, but are you getting a little tired of staying there? Because I got a place you could go to if you need it. He's vigorously shaking his head yes, for those of you that want him. Well, let me tell you, Eddie, Dennis, whatever name I'm going with. Eddie, that's right. So let me tell you about our friends over at Casino, Gila River Casino.
You are bad
and
with
Resorts.
names, huh?
I am. Yeah, I am. I'm struggling right now. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Let me tell you about them, Dennis, Eddie. They have some of the best casinos and resorts in town. My favorite is the Wild Horse Pass, where we do a lot of our watch-alongs. They got great food, the best gaming floor you're going to find in Arizona, and they've got unbelievable entertainment, including a theater where they have music acts, live music acts out there. I can't tell you enough about it. I love Shula's Steakhouse, where I can grab a great steak, a cocktail, enjoy that, then go gamble.
Shula Steakhouse?
Shula, like Don Shula.
Oh, Shula.
The great football coach from the Miami Dolphins. So head to Gila River Resorts and Casinos and let them show you what next level is like, Dennis Eddie. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Dennis Eddie, I'll get you a room for tonight.
All right, let's
Are you
take a
really
peek
bad
at
with
Super
names?
Chat.
I am. I know. I meet people and 5 seconds later forget their name.
No, I'm really bad.
I knew it was
at
Eddie, but I am terrible at names. But I knew it was Eddie. So
He was
Dennis
just
Eddie.
making it funny for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, Psycho Blue sent us a super chat. Thank you, Psycho Blue. They said, Basketball Cthulhu shrilled in chaotic delight watching the excellent fourth quarter defensive effort when our shots stopped falling. All caps, may we all become solar. Basketball Cthulhu is so silly.
I don't know if I'm terrified or excited by Basketball Cthulhu. I think it depends on the night.
Totally. But thank you for your super chat, Psycho Blue. Tim from Phoenix said, shout out to Lindsay repping the Beanie Squad. I just have a simple request. Can opposing teams please stop hitting our Suns in the face? We don't need any more broken noses.
I agree.
I am down with both of those.
I agree.
Thank you.
Should we just preemptively put them all in masks?
I mean, honestly, at this point, it wouldn't be a bad option.
That'd be kind of cool if they all rolled up.
That would be
masks
dope.
on.
Like a whole,
That would be dope. That'd be savage if they all just roll up with the Bane man. Like I think
they're from 300. They're just like, let's go.
That would be
50
dope.
turnovers in a game, though. 50.
Brandon, thank you, Brandon. They sent us one. I think this is Brandon's first super chat too. They said, can y'all play the Steve Kerr ad, Suns vs. Warriors?
The club thing?
I think it's the club thing, right? Is that what you're talking about,
Yeah, it's the
Brandon?
club thing.
Is he talking about the ad that we made?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the one we made. Yo,
I think so.
that was fire.
Do we still have that one?
I can find. I don't have it
Eric will
readily
look
available,
for
but
it,
I mean,
and
I
we'll
can have
see
it
if we can
for
find it
Suns
before
Warriors.
the end of the show.
That
you
was
want it for this
hilarious.
show?
Well,
Well,
real
no,
quick, Eric,
you
before
know
look
what?
for it.
We will play it for the Suns versus Warriors, which is
We got them Sunday, right?
Sunday.
Oh.
Or Saturday, excuse me.
Well, there you go,
We'll play it
Brandon. So
Saturday.
come back on
Saturday.
Saturday. We'll play it for you then. All right. So we did get some clips from Gerald, who will be joining us here shortly in the show. First and foremost, we'll hear from Kevin Durant on Royce O'Neal.
Ooh.
IQ, played with guys that can score the ball almost his whole career. And, underrated passer, can shoot the basketball. Just a basketball player, to be honest. Like, positionless basketball player that's going to help us out and fit in, So I'm excited about him. I love being around Royce and can't wait to keep building with him as a person first and then as a teammate.
To follow up on Royce, like the style of play you guys were running tonight, pace, assists with the switching defensively, that's exactly how he fits in, right?
Yeah. I mean, being able to guard a few positions, being able to initiate and be a connective, small ball, 4-3, a guy you could throw the ball to and have him initiate the offense to get guys going. play in the pocket a little bit and make those passes as well. But he just plays extremely hard. Loves the game, loves his teammates, and I think people in the Valley will love watching him.
I think you guys are going to love watching him. I'm excited.
I'm excited, man. I'm telling you that the one thing I've made about 10 calls on Royce today, and the one consistent thing I keep hearing is glue guy, excellent locker room guy, gonna love like that. That's what I keep hearing, and so he fits what we're trying to do. And I really got a feeling this guy's going to become a fan favorite. We got his bird rights. We can keep him around. He's only 30 years old. And I love what Bob Myers had to say. I hope I didn't kill anything by saying that. I don't know if y'all got something with Bob.
We talked about it pregame.
Bob Myers was terrific with what he said. He said this is exactly what the doctor ordered. And KD just emphasized that.
He said, quote, I think the Royce O'Neal move was big. It gave Phoenix exactly what they needed.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge, man. So I'm happy that KD, and he's got experience with the guys, so you know it's not just him talking. He knows what they're bringing in. Got a consummate pro that's going to give us some grittiness.
Well, we saw the splits earlier today during our trade deadline special of just how much better Royce O'Neal is when he's playing with KD too. I mean, we've talked about it. That gravity really is a big deal for these guys, but especially for a volume 3-point shooter like Royce O'Neal. So I'm excited for that. By the way, the Suns did list him at 6'6".
Yeah, we're just putting that out there on the Suns official press release, because I know when we had our trade deadline show earlier, there was a lot of back and forth in the chat about whether he was 6'4" or 6'6". According to the Suns, he's 6'6".
You know what? If they do a press conference, an introductory press conference or press availability, I am bringing the tape measure. And I am just asking, can we put it to bed? Can we just measure you if you're 6'4" or 6'6"? He's probably going to tell me to go to hell or get stuffed, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I mean, he might think it's funny and let you do it, to be honest with you. But also, the Suns do have KD listed at 6'10", right? Do they have him listed at that?
Yeah, but hasn't KD always asked to be listed below 7 feet?
Yep.
It's a KD
It's
thing.
a KD
Okay,
thing.
but he literally said the other day that he is 6'10", maybe 6'11" with shoes on, but he got measured at the beginning of the season and he's 6'10". He literally said it.
That's a guy that doesn't want to be...
Are you calling Kevin Durant a liar?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Well, okay,
Kevin
fine.
Durant is a guy that does not want to be known as a 7-footer.
He said it a whole bunch of times. Like, I don't want to be known as a 7
He's
Well,
the
maybe
opposite
because
of...
he's not 7
He's probably
feet.
not 7 feet.
And he's like,
not
stop
7
calling
feet.
me a 7-footer when I'm not 7 feet.
Right, right.
He is the opposite of me. I'm like, I'm 5'9", and I'm really probably 5'8.5". And he's like, I'm not 7 feet, and he's probably 7 feet. All right.
I like what Jan Paul Edward
De
Dios. Let's talk about that. 6'11" wingspan.
He's got a larger wingspan than Kevin Durant is tall. Keep that in mind.
So he's. I mean, I don't care what he is, man. We know Royce O'Neal. I don't care if he's 6'4", 6'6". I mean, he plays basketball. He's good at it, and he's 226. Like, so he's a big guy. And as long as he shoot that damn ball, I don't care what you list him at.
Is he a guy you're going to wind up putting on? And not that he's going to stop them, but is he the body you're going to put on a Kawhi or an Aaron Gordon or a LeBron? That's the mindset here, right? You've got another body that can go up against those guys and slow them down. No, I mean Aaron Gordon you can stop, but the others you slow them down. You don't fully stop them. That's the thought process.
That's the thought process, and it's in spurts. Like it's not going to be him the whole time. Yeah, but he's scrappy enough. He's just one of those guys. Again, his best defensive days, one-on-one defense and stuff like that is behind him. But he's scrappy as hell. He fights and he claws and he just does those little intangible things that you love to see from a basketball player. So the Suns got better today. I'm telling y'all, the Suns got better today. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that physical gets done quick and all that stuff get ironed out because I love to see him on Saturday.
Yeah. All right, here's what Frank Vogel had to say about the trade.
Yeah, well, I want to start by just thanking Chimezi, Keita, Yuta, and Goody. Those guys have been really good culture fits for us. It's always difficult to say goodbye to good guys and culture guys, teammates for these guys. Those guys put in a lot of hard work. They're a big reason why we're where we are today and the success we've been having. And we definitely wish them well. But we're really excited about the guys we have coming in. Royce O'Neal and David Roddy, two guys that we really feel like are gonna help us. I love that Matt Ishbia is willing to spend even more and do whatever it takes to give us the best chance to win an NBA championship for this city. He's just all in on that. This was a deal that cost us more money, but it's something that, in particular with Royce O'Neal, who's a high-level role player, he's been a starter for the better part of the last 5 years or so, and on some good teams too, some really good teams. Number 1 seed team in Utah a few years back. Just an exceptional defender, exceptional three-point shooter, and a winner. And to get somebody like David Roddy, who is, just elevates our toughness and intelligence. Smart player and very physical, represents who we want to be, and was a first-round pick 2 years ago. So he's a really, really talented young man that we're excited to get in our program.
Big Body Roddy.
I like Big Body Roddy.
I think that's such a funny nickname.
Yeah.
I'm so on board for it.
Big Body Roddy.
Oh my goodness. Also, we had a little bit of an update as well that we wanted to share with you guys. Word on the street is that Chimezie Metu might get waived. And no, we cannot re-sign him if that happens. The only way the Suns would be able to re-sign him would be if he got picked up by another team and then cut by that team. And then the Suns could.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Suns would do that either which way. But just for everybody who was asking earlier in the show.
Yeah, you did know there was one other acquisition the Suns made today, right?
There was?
We'll get to it in a second, but yeah, just to tease that, you got to be ready to know that.
Hit the like button if you want to see who we got.
Yeah,
what does that say?
I'll let you know the other person.
At least get it to 150.
Yeah, give me some more likes. I will let you know who the other person that they acquired today, and boy, was it a doozy. Very, very impressive game.
Doozy? I thought it was a good one.
Well, no, a doozy can be a good thing. You're old. You should know that. You're young. You shouldn't know that.
Oh, you see, you fixed that pretty quick.
We're getting punchy an hour in.
Hey, Dennis Eddy, you know that one? Let's show the good people who the additional person that was signed today for at least a one-day contract. That is one good-looking guy on the end of the bench. Our friend at Frank Vogel PHX said, in case you missed it, Espo signed a one-day contract with the Suns today. Thanks for suiting up and helping out with our bench depth. I love this photo, especially because apparently Frank tans his hands and his hands open.
That is true. That is true.
I have no clue who my head is on in that photo.
I have no idea.
But thank you, Frank,
That's
as
hilarious.
always.
You got it one day.
There you go. You did tell us in the pregame show that you did. I just didn't think you were actually going to run down to the arena, play, and then make it back in time to be here for the show.
War number 56. Book let me borrow a pair of the book ones. I had to give them back.
Okay.
But I was the only one that didn't get in the game.
I tried. I was there. We talked about it in the Discord for the diehards. I was trying. I got there. Yeah. And then they looked at me and they was like, Flex, your back is not it. You ain't got it, brother.
You can't do it.
What people don't know is that Espo was actually called to check in the game, but he wanted to give Teo Maledon his time to shine because he put that work in.
Bro. And I forgot my shorts under the rip-away pants, so I didn't want that embarrassment.
Good job for being nice to Teo.
Hey, real quick, everyone asking, where's Gerald at? Great question. I've texted him 85 times and he's leaving me on red. No, I'm just kidding. He just responded. He'll be on in like 3 minutes. But he did leave me on red for a hot minute. So y'all should yell at him in the chat when he comes in because that's just mean.
Oh, for sure wants to know what my wingspan is. I'm pretty sure it's 4'6".
4'6"?
Yeah.
4'6"?
It's shorter than I am. I got T-Rex arms here, right?
I do want to remind you guys, we do have a takeover coming up next week. There are a couple tickets left. Valentine's Day, when the Suns take on the Pistons, we're going to be heading out to the arena. So a ticket to the takeover gets you a ticket to the game, plus access to our pregame festivities where we will have food and beverage and we'll all hang out. Then we'll walk over to the arena together. We'll sit together. We'll watch the game. They are absolutely a ton of fun. If you have not been to one, highly recommend it. If you have been to one, then you know exactly why you should return and come back and hang out with us. But real quick, just in case you guys are a little bit hesitant to come because maybe you'd be coming solo, it is one of the best kind of events because you can come solo and still feel like you're not at an event solo. Everyone there is super cool and welcoming, and you're going to have a blast. So you can get your tickets over at gophnx.com, okay?
Can I add something to that?
Yes.
We are undefeated for takeovers.
You keep saying this.
We are.
Oh, we are in takeovers, not in events, in takeovers. We're 2-0. You're right.
But no, we lost an event. What event?
One of the.
I thought we won them all.
I thought we won them all.
Was it out of
dog.
Gila?
It was out of Gila. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe
we had
lost
lost
one
it,
from Gila?
but we had the win against Minnesota.
Yeah,
with the big comeback against Sacramento.
Yeah,
we're gonna kick Monty's ass on Valentine's Day. No love lost. All right,
let's go.
Guess what, guys? He's finally here.
No.
In the darkness, beyond the light, there shall only be one. Welcome to
Gerald, everybody is mad at you because they have been asking for you for like 48 minutes and you made them wait.
I'm sorry. I was interviewing coaches and players, which is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, you know what? Tell them coaches and players to chop because you got people to see and talk to. Anyway, Gerald, tell us about our new point guard, Steve Nash.
yeah, that was funny. Frank Vogel was joking. He told him, I need you to play like a point guard tonight, but he wasn't expecting him to come out there and be like Steve Nash. And Grayson kind of deflected. He was saying, look, a lot of my passes were just kind of in the flow of the offense. I wasn't initiating a ton, but it was just an instructive night in terms of how much he can be a connector and how well the ball was moving. You look at how many assists they had on their made buckets tonight. It was really impressive, especially without their best facilitator out there in Devin Booker. So tonight was an ideal blueprint for making the extra pass, for swinging the ball, for getting up a bunch of threes. The offensive flow was great, and everybody was pretty impressed with the way that Grayson was able to get his career high in assists by halftime.
Yeah, Grayson was terrific tonight, bro. Talk to me about the flow of the offense, G. Like it obviously Grayson was incredible making the extra pass. But guys like Brad Beal, guys like Eric Gordon, they were really letting it go tonight. I thought KD did a great job early of attacking, setting the tone offensively, and then accepting that double team and embracing it and letting these guys go to work. Did Frank or anybody or KD himself talk about any difference tonight in the way the offense moved or the flow? Because it seemed like they had just a little extra juice tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they were all cognizant of the fact that Booker was out, that they were missing guys from the trade deadline, that it's an emotional day. So they brought a little something extra tonight. I think Kevin Durant took over Booker's normal role of getting them started offensively. I think he had 19 or something like that in the first quarter. So he was great in setting the tone, and they just all kind of followed suit. And they were also able to get stops and get out in transition. You know, pushing the pace has been a focus for them these last couple of weeks. They've been playing a lot faster. And that comes with continuity and having your same guys available. So they were able to do that pretty well tonight.
Okay, Gerald, we got to see a lot of different guys kind of help out tonight, play well. But how impressed have you been with Drew Eubanks as of late? We talked about it a little bit. He went out there in this game and had a good 18 minutes. Do you feel like he's starting to gain that confidence in what you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the Suns have done a better job of finding him. I feel like he's a little more confident out there in terms of getting to his spots on slips and rolls when he sets screens. It just feels like they're building that chemistry with him in those backup minutes a little bit better than earlier in the season. I think some of that has to do with the lineups being in flux the way that they were. But he seems like he's been more aggressive and more confident offensively. You know, when he catches the ball in the short roll, putting his head down, getting to the basket, that little hook shot that he has as well. So I've liked what I've seen out of him lately.
Hey, G, the Suns shot the heck out the ball tonight. 60% from the field almost. Damn near 50% from three. Is that why the fire alarm is going on out there? Like, is that what's going on? Did they shoot the hell out the nets and something smoking?
I think so. I think that's what it's got to be over here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hello said the fire alarms are going off because Girth is too hot. So Hello paid you a compliment, Gerald.
I think
very
Hello
nice,
might
Hello.
be Gerald's fiance. I think we finally figured
Did we
this
crack
out.
the code?
We cracked the code.
I don't think that's it. I think she's asleep at home right now.
Gerald, what was the thing that stood out the most from the post-game pressers? What kind of left an impression on you that was said?
Yeah, I think Frank Vogel said something that I don't think has been taken into consideration here or anywhere else in the league, but he said he feels like Kevin Durant is playing at an all-defensive level with the way that he's embracing some of these primary defensive matchups and the way that he's performing in them. It's been a tone setter for the Suns, and like I mentioned on our emergency pod earlier today, since December 27th, this is a top 10 defensive team in the league. So Kevin Durant deserves a ton of credit for setting the tone on that end of the floor. We saw it again tonight with him taking on the Lauri Markkanen matchup, and he's been doing that for weeks now. So it's one of those things to keep an eye on. I don't know if he's going to get the votes for that sort of thing, but he absolutely has been the defensive MVP for this team so far. And that was one thing that definitely stood out to me. And then obviously, you know, we played some of the sound bites, but guys are excited about Royce O'Neal coming in, what he's going to be able to do defensively as a three-point shooter, as an offensive connector. So, you know, Brad Beal said he's been a fan of his from afar. Kevin Durant obviously has played with him and said people in the Valley are going to love watching him play. So something to be excited for. I know he wasn't the flashiest acquisition, but he's a guy that can help this team for sure.
Do you get any insight on if he's going to play on Saturday or not?
No, I would imagine he does, assuming that, you know, the post-trade physicals go through and everything's okay. The trade was made official tonight. So hopefully he's en route and he'll be able to suit up for Saturday. But at worst, it'll be the following game on, I think, Tuesday.
Hey, G, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
G, I got a question. We talked about it before you came on. I noticed it in the arena tonight. You're there. I'm curious to see what you think. You know, we had a 1 o'clock trade deadline. And, you know, anytime you go into a trade deadline, before the deadline, you have people that are kind of on edge. They're kind of like, hey, am I going to be here? Am I not going to be here? Just that dark cloud that kind of seeps into a locker room. Everybody goes through it. Even the coaching staff, they seem to have anxiety about some of these things. It felt like this team, for some reason, just was freer today. It felt like there was a little pep in their step. It felt like, okay, finally this is over with. We can move on from that. And they had one of their best first quarters. They came out on fire, and it kind of trickled down for the rest of the game. I'm just curious about, do you feel like, or did you sense that in the locker room that these guys are like, okay, it's over with, the deadline's on, we can kind of move on, and, you know, a lot of pressure is relieved right now. Did you feel that or see any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Frank and Brad and some of the other guys even spoke to it. You know, they were saying this is a tough day. It's an emotional upheaval for, you know, friends and teammates going out the door, new guys coming in. But for the guys that are still here, it's also kind of a collective sigh of relief. Like, okay, this is our squad. Now everything's about to get a lot faster after this all-star break. So I do think there was that kind of sense of relief that, like, all right, this is our squad. This is what we're going to look like moving forward. Everybody that's still here is a part of this. And they were able to play pretty free out there because of it. I thought they moved the ball extremely well. And, you know, it, like I said, it can be tough. Bradley Beal talked at length after the game about, you know, losing his friend, since someone he's known since he was a teenager, in Jordan Goodwin. Yeah. But at the same time, these guys understand that, you know, they're not dying. They're just going to a different place to play basketball, which is what they love to do. They'll see them again when they play each other. They might play on the same team at some point in the future. So it's just a see you later, not a full goodbye.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, guys, let's round out with these two final super chats we have here. The first one comes from Leo. Leo said Royce O'Neal's new nickname is Rolls Royce.
Ooh.
Not mad at it.
I like that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Rolls Royce. I like that.
Rolls Royce and Big Body Roddy.
Love it.
Good names.
Love it. Big Body Roddy is still one of my favorite things ever. Like I'm never going to get over that.
You like those, Dennis Eddie? All right. Thumbs up.
Khalil sent us one and they said, would Thaddeus Young be a good addition?
I will say this. Go ahead, G. No, that's on you. Go ahead.
Yeah,
G. No, that's on you. Go ahead.
I was going to say I don't think he'd be a bad addition. I think he's obviously past his best, most impactful days, but he's quietly been pretty good over these last couple of years. He's spent some time as a small ball 5 and as a 4, so he would lend some size, some experience for sure. He wouldn't be like the top of my list, but he is a guy that if they did target him, I do think he could help in limited spot minutes.
I couldn't agree more, G. We actually were in a meeting yesterday. We talked about Thaddeus Young. I can tell you, guys can go back in my timeline. The Suns have been looking at Thaddeus Young for about 3 years, and it just has not worked out. And so now I would not be shocked one bit if Thaddeus Young is a guy that they target for exactly what you said. He's not playing his best basketball days are behind him, but he brings a lot of good intangibles, and he's a great locker room guy, and he's one of those guys that you can do a lot worse than having an insurance policy like Thaddeus Young back there. So I would pay attention to that.
I'll say this. He's like the milk you find in the fridge that's a few days past the expiration date, and you go, can I get away with this?
Yeah,
I feel like that Thad Young's a guy that could help, but I'm not going to count on it based on what we've seen. But if you're taking a flyer in the buyout market, that's what you're dealing with anyways.
Yep,
100%. All right, any final thoughts?
No, I'm feeling great about tonight. Let's rock and roll. Everybody had a long night. Great job by everybody here. This was a long day for everybody. I'm glad it's over, and let's keep it rolling.
I have one other thought. Go become a diehard at gophnx.com. Gerald writes some unbelievable content there.
Espo writes like twice a year there.
I write 3 this year so far. But we had a round table that we did on the deadline that you can read some additional thoughts from all of us. So go become a diehard today.
Yes.
Plus you get access to the Discord, which is like literally the most fun part, and you get discounts on all the events and the merch and things like that. Okay, we're gonna head out. Thank you guys for joining us for all the different shows that we have had today. We appreciate you very much for being here with us. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you're listening wherever you get your podcast, rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us out a lot, and we really appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow for a 3 p.m. show, so plan to come hang out with us then. And of course, until we see you tomorrow, you can give the show a follow on social at PHNX_Suns. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bouguet. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. And you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
To the gentleman that replied to our emergency pod earlier in the comments with, quote, the main thing he brings, being me, to the show is a semi-likable, aging Jonah Hill type comedy factor, end quote. Is that a compliment or an insult? Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.